So this is just a short video for section 8.2. I believe this is problem number 43. And it says find P divided by P over Q of X and state any values that cannot be included in the domain of P over QX. So P of X is defined to be 4x squared minus 27x plus 22. Q of X is x minus 6. So what we have to do then is we simply have to go ahead and do P of X divided by Q of X. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the domain first because that's probably the easiest thing to do. And so the domain for P over Q of X, what we have to do is set the denominator equal to 0, and we get that X is equal to 6. So the domain for P over Q of X then would be all numbers X such that X does not equal to 6, because that's what's going to make this particular function to be undefined. So now what we're going to do is we have to use long division to divide P by Q. And so here's my Q, and so I'm going to go ahead and put my P inside P of X inside the division symbol. So I have 4x squared minus 27x plus 22 divided by x minus 6. And so if you remember long division from school, from grade school, what we're going to do, so if I was doing, let's just do 105 divided by 7, right? And so we do, how many times does 7 go into 1? Doesn't go into it. What about 10? It goes into 10 one time. And 1 times 7 is 7. And then we're going to subtract, right? And so this is an important step here. Oops. Because the 7 was a positive 7, but we changed the sign to a minus. And then so we bring down the 5, and then 35 divided by 7 is 5. And so the answer is 15, remainder 0, right? That's how we would do it when we learn how to do long division. And so we're going to do the similar thing here with this example. So what we do is we look at the x and we say, how many times does x divides 4x squared? And so what happens here is that if I multiply x by 4x, I get 4x squared. And then 4x times negative 6 is negative 28x. Since I have to change the signs, my positive 4x squared becomes a negative, and then my negative 28x becomes a positive 28x, which is just x. And then I bring down the 22. And so x divided by x is going to be a 1. So 1 times x is x, and then 1 times 6. Negative 6 is negative 6. And then again, I'm going to change the signs. So my remainder here is 28. Now, when we write this answer is going to be slightly different than what we normally did when we did it here. The proper way to have written this would have been 15 and then 0 over 7, right? And so we're going to end up doing similar thing for this example. So our final answer then becomes 4x plus 1 plus the 28 over the x minus 6. And so if we go back here to the original, P over Q of x is actually 4x plus 1 plus 28 over x minus 6. And then since we already studied the domain, we're all done with this particular example. Thank you.